America is failing and nobody cares. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, July the 23rd. And as the year flies by and the markets continue to charge higher, we certainly have found some interesting things happening in this country, and it's unfortunate that nobody really cares. Or in other words, or in Bubba's words, nobody gives a shit. And it's kind of depressing to watch this system fail and watch the left take over. Again, I am neither left nor right, but certainly the current administration is the worst in history. The hatred for this country, the destruction of this country continues. And what I find really interesting is forget the fact that Trump has been under constant pressure from right before he decided to run till still today. Yet, with all the news and information on Biden, which has been around forever, there is no issue, and nobody's going after him as much as they pretend like they are. And of course, we get to see that for whatever reason, with all the bad things happening in most of the left states, nobody's concerned. The politicians aren't concerned. It's like they have the next election in the bag. It's like they have everything all set up, and no matter what happens, no matter who runs, there's not going to be a change. Now, I don't know about you, but when I look at this current president, first of all, he's senile. Okay, forget about my personal opinion about him. Forget the fact that he's a racist, hating president that can't stand anybody, and has been proven. This is not opinion. This is fact. Every vote he has ever made has been racist. He has gone after Israel, okay, one of America's greatest allies, but nobody cares. So I find that the lack of concern from the left coming into a new election season is interesting. The attack on RFK at the censorship hearings, I find to be interesting. Again, whether you agree with RFK or not, I think he had a lot of good things to say. And I tell you what, if Trump is going to be the opponent, okay, I would love to see him with RFK or with Vivek Ramaswamy. Okay, I think that would be a pretty good ticket, and it would give us I think a better future. But again, the failures that we watch from the growing amount of homeless, and speaking of homeless, and speaking of San Francisco being the worst of the homeless, it is obviously a very sad weekend as we lost Tony Bennett, who left his heart in San Francisco, but I don't think right now his heart would have been there with what's going on in that city. But you're seeing that in a lot of cities. You're seeing a dramatic amount of homeless for no apparent reason, and yet we continue to have assholes like Samuel L. Jackson, okay, who is whining and complaining that the billionaires aren't paying their fair share of taxes. Now, Samuel L. Jackson, feel free to write a check to the United States government, to the IRS, and pay them. If you want to pay more taxes, please do so. As I've said many times before, taxes, the big billionaires, the big companies, they pay their fair share. Okay, you want to fix what they pay, change the tax code, change the way that it's done. Quit making up bullshit stories when you have a president and his family who has stolen millions and millions of dollars from the American people. When many of your politicians on either side of the aisle have stolen millions and billions of dollars, don't worry about who's paying the taxes. Quit stealing the money, and then we won't have to worry about who's paying taxes. Okay? Quit overspending, then we won't have to worry about who's paying taxes. You know, we were never intended to have a federal government that was the number one employer in the world. We were never intended to be in this position. So quit whining about who's paying taxes. Change the tax code, and if you want to pay more, feel free to do so. Okay, I mean, you've got a strategy right now on the current administration: deny, deflect, and defend. Okay? They don't seem to have any concern whatsoever, which is interesting. In the meantime, housing starts continue to fall. Okay, only down 8% on top of other negative regressions. Okay, the Fed reports industrial production numbers negative as well. So we continue to see a lack of production, a lack of actually people working, and you can make up numbers into whatever you want to make them up to. Okay, remember, the numbers don't lie; the people that report them do. Okay, but as you take a look at the yield curve, we are in the biggest inversion since 1981. Okay, now we all remember that part of history and how tough the economy was. Where do you think this is going? Again, I'm not predicting. Everybody knows what my overall prediction is. I'm saying we're going to have a 50 to 70% haircut at some point, but I am long now. Okay, so again, I'm not telling you this is going down tomorrow. Okay, but the obvious evidence that we are watching is showing us how tough and how things are going to be. All right, I mean, when you have a big city as of New York settling with the Black Lives Matter protesters and paying them off, so you got paid protesters getting paid on a lawsuit in New York for what? Because they destructed the city, because they tore down buildings, because they looted and stole from retailers. Are you freaking kidding me? This is such a joke. They should be in jail, not getting money. But of course, God forbid we didn't have reparations for everything. I think we should all get our new job, which is become a professional protester and a professional thief, because we don't prosecute anybody anymore. We don't put anybody in jail anymore. All right, and we make up bullshit excuses to let them out. You got to be kidding me! Is what we're watching here. And of course, you've got this imbecile, John Kerry. Okay, I don't care if you like him or not. He's an idiot. Okay, well, and what the fuck is he going to China for? To talk about climate control in his private jet? Okay, we have so many things that make no sense. Okay, but yet here's John Kerry putting on a nice massive carbon footprint, going to China to work out some deal with a country that's never going to work out a deal for climate change. In fact, China is burning more coal now because they're running low on energy, and they're running low on their other sources, so they're burning even more coal. But let's by all means, and who's paying for John Kerry's trip to China is what I'd like to know. Okay, I mean, this is just a joke. Okay, and then to add on, you've got some of the Democrats trying to overhaul federal laws and replace gender terms with gender-neutral language. Now, what is this about? Look, you want to be a trans, you want to be whatever you want to be. Hey, God bless, have a nice life. But to change for something that doesn't need to be changed, I mean, there is XX and XY chromosomes. There is not ABC. Okay, now whatever you happen to be, and I don't care. It will not affect me, but it better not affect the rest of my life either. And changing things to come to satisfy less than 1% of the population is hypocritical and ridiculous and stupid. Okay, it's just ridiculous. And talk about ridiculous, Bidenomics. Okay, they have no answer for anything. And of course, President Biden is telling you about the 1.7 trillion that they saved, which is ridiculous. It's not true. It's a false narrative, and it's just a simple jiggling of the numbers. Because the fact is that they're once again over budget and save nothing. Okay, and are far well spent. Okay, so again, and plus the fact that evictions are now at record highs. They had the moratorium during COVID. Well, now evictions are at record highs. And where's Bidenomics for those? Okay. It's amazing how we watch this country will work on certain things. Now, trying to get the framework and the digital currencies up and running. Well, Fed Now is live and the framework isn't now in place. Well, again, we knew it was in place a long time ago. We've been talking about, excuse me, this forever. Okay, that there was going to be a digital currency. Okay, so I think we look back, and you want to talk about failing. Okay, the CDC with their new director is going to try to rebuild the trust. Why should we have to have trust rebuilt? Why wasn't it done right in the first place? You remember when you were a kid, they always asked you, there's always enough time to do it over, but how come there's not enough time to do it right in the first place? You know, you got to wonder at what's going on in America, and we are failing. We're failing our people. We're failing our citizens. We're failing to keep our lead and our control and our power over the rest of the world because, unfortunately, we have a president that's giving everything away. But we'll have more about that in our commentary. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, July the 23rd. We're going to stop out here for a break and be right back with our market commentary after the break. Bubba's Bottom Line. What up, kids? Well, here we are once again, and it is a Sunday, and we've got to talk about our sponsors, and we've got our regular brokerage partners. Now, again, you know that I have other brokers, so just so you have full disclosure, but Capital Trading Group, okay, for equity, for futures and commodities, trade your brokerage for equities and options. They are the two best in the entire industry, okay? And they're the best customer service, and I urge you to check them out. Their info is on the side for Capital Trading Group. It's info.capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. And for Trader Brokerage, it's try.trader.com/Bubba. I mean, check them out. Look, again, I've already vetted them for him. I use them both myself. So, and of course, we have a new sponsor. We'll have more about them later in the week, but Target Trading, targettrading.co. Check them out. And of course, don't forget about our high school program. And of course, that's scrolling on the bottom. We're giving it 6 more months to go. And if we can't get everything, this is another problem in this country. We can't get the teachers to teach it, but we'll have more on that. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line, top Bubba Horowitz. Let's get back to the show right now. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, July the 23rd. And of course, markets were kind of murky, but they continue to climb higher. This is the key that you have to remember, is that we don't fight the trend. We don't try to get involved. We don't try to take things away. Markets are markets. And right now, they're going higher. Now, I hate the market here, but not only am I long, which I'm always long in my equities, my 401k, my IRAs, profit sharing, but I'm long as a day trader. Why? Because, again, the markets keep going higher. So should I say, no, you can't go higher anymore? I know what I believe. You know what I believe. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to fight it, and we're going to continue to play the trend. Again, you can't tell the markets what to do because you don't know what they've already priced in. In the meantime, the dollar had a little bit of a rally for the week. Now, we don't trade the dollar anymore, but of course, we still do tell you what we would be, and we would be short dollars still. I mean, again, you always expect some mean reversion in any market. Okay, and the dollar basically went plummeting straight down, so a little mean reversion is no big deal. The euro currency, we are still long. And again, it had a little, obviously the dollar's up, the euro currency is a little bit down. Not a big deal. Still churning and still long. Bitcoin was pretty much flat, and we're still long Bitcoin. End of the day, look, Bitcoin's one of those that's going to sit sideways, and either get killed or go straight up. Well, I think it's got a greater chance to go straight up. And the bonds and the notes were both pretty much flat. Okay, and interesting enough, we're short bonds and long notes. And again, you have the Fed coming this week. So Wednesday they're going to make a decision. Interest rates now, I believe the market has 0.25 basis points priced in. I wouldn't be surprised if it was 50 basis points. Okay, but we'll see. In the meantime, gold, it had a up week, and we're still short gold. It's close, but we're still short gold. Silver had a slightly down week. We're still long silver, and platinum, which we don't trade anymore, but we would be long. Copper is just continues that ridiculous churn back and forth, which makes it so annoying to trade. Natural gas was up a little bit, we're long, but it's still in that real tight, nasty, narrow pattern. Crude oil popped pretty good, and it looks like now I would say the next target for crude oil is 82. Closed the week at 77, and of course we're long. In the grain markets, interesting action, a lot of wild swings in the grains, and we're long across the board. The wild swings were crazy, and of course on Friday we saw some sell-off. But, the week itself was crazy, and it looks to me, based on the action, based on what's going on, that they did put bottoms in. It doesn't mean we're going straight up, right? That one of the problems with going straight up or straight down, you always assume some mean reversion. So in the meantime, we are long across the board. The meats, the cattle markets, which we don't trade them anymore, they're not liquid enough, but the meats are, at record highs. Now, again, the trend is higher, but I will tell you that straight up, I will be a seller. Okay, in the next couple of days if the rally continues, because again, I don't think there's much more room to go on the upside. A lot of the pricing is based on a shortage, so we'll see. Again, I'm not telling you to short them. I'm telling you what I'm going to do. And hogs, which we would be long as well, I am short those at just over $1. Okay, in the softs, you've got cocoa, which we're still long, cotton, which we're long. Sugar, which we're long, OJ we're long, and coffee we're short. Okay, and the equities, again, equities are up again across the board. Now it wasn't huge. The markets are really in a consolidating phase, but I think that's really consolidation to go to the next move. I as much as I'm bearish in the longer term, it would not shock me if we saw new market highs, new all-time highs. And remember, the markets have no memory. They don't know what's going on. They only know about the buyers and sellers that affect that market. So to quit trying to guess it, we say it, make profit, don't be a prophet. So just be careful. And again, it's still pretty slow and probably will remain so. We're getting into the heat of summer, right? You're at the end of July. So again, don't be afraid to trade, but also be very careful and cautious. This is Bubba's Bottom Line, top Bubba Horwitz. We're going to step out here for our final break and be back with our commentary. Well, kids, again, I'm not going to go through the whole spiel, but you remember our partners, our brokerage partners, and I have many brokers, but Tradier for equities and options, Capital Trading Group, both scrolling on the sides, and of course our high school program, and our brand new partner and sponsor, TargetTrading.co. Check them out. Great educators, good friends of ours, and doing a lot of stuff with them. So in the meantime, check them out, and let's get back to our commentary on Bubba's Bottom Line on Sunday, July the 23rd. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, July the 23rd, and of course, well, I always got something to say about something, but I'm getting so sick and tired of the lies that we're being told, the pass that President Biden's getting. Forget about Republican or Democrat. Did he or did he not break the law? And should he or should he not be prosecuted? I'm so tired of this selective prosecution. And this goes down to the very low level. If you work for a retail chain and somebody steals and you stop them, they'll fire you. Now, where the fuck are we going? Okay, when criminals rule the roost and rule the world, and laws are made for these criminals, can you answer that? I mean, does it make sense that we let criminals out of jail early, that they don't have to post bond anymore, that they can steal and not get arrested, and that the employee will get fired for stopping them? What kind of country, what kind of fucking zoo are we starting to live in here? So you want to talk about the failure of America? You can start with the president, Joe Biden. There's the biggest failure that we could ever have done. And obviously, it's probably in for another term, because with no concern by the left with all the news going on, they certainly must have this election under control. Bubba's Bottom Line. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you back here tomorrow with Bubba's Day Update. But until then, have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you later.